It's like old times again in Stillwater as fans are lining up to get inside Gallagher-Iba Arena. The first sellout here in nearly 2 years. And it's for the Big 12 conference opener. The house lights down at the moment, but they'll pop up momentarily as the West Virginia Mountaineers are visiting the Oklahoma State Cowboys. And so glad you could join us for this conference opener, along with 1985 national champ with Villanova, Mark Plansky. I'm Mark Neely. We have the privilege of the very first game of the Big 12 slate right here. It's going to be a lot of fun this season. Great matchup to start things. Two teams striking similarities in some ways and one big difference between the two.
It's sold out for a reason. We are going to see a lot of offense, Mark Neely. Both of these teams in the top 5 in the country, putting up over 90 points a game. However, similar yet different, West Virginia again in the top 10 on defense with West Virginia, but don't be misled by the Oklahoma State 77 points a game, because they are also in the top 5 in steals and turnovers forced per game.
Another intriguing part of this matchup is the two starting point guards.
Well, Juwan Evans is just a be-all, end-all, CP3-like lookalike for Oklahoma State, leading the Big 12 in scoring. But Javon Carter only cares about one thing, Mark. How many steals do I have? He's the best defender in the Big 12.
So we are just about ready to go from Stillwater. There will be 90 conference games in the Big 12. This is game number 1. And Javon Carter, during the shoot-around earlier today, to say he was not intimidated at all by the upcoming big crowd here would be an understatement. He was cool as could be, and Javon Carter looking to start conference season healthy this year.
Well, I love that Javon Carter came up and Coach Hug said, "Hey, Carter, you nervous?" Javon said, "I'm not nervous, Coach. How about you?" Coach Hug said, "Why should I be nervous? I've got you."
Well, we're ready to go. Oklahoma State wearing the home whites. West Virginia wearing their road blue. Brandon Watkins to take the opening tap for the Mountaineers against Lucas Gasson for the Cowboys. Joe DeRosa, our lead official, puts it in the air. We are underway from Stillwater.
Folks, get ready to see man-to-man defense everywhere. Oklahoma State might play a possession or two on zone, but it's going to be man-to-man in your face all afternoon.
Leighton Hammonds defended by Nathan Adrian. 8 on the shot clock. Lindy Waters with 4 to shoot. Forte puts it up. It's long. And a rebound for Issa Ahmad for West Virginia.
Forte forced that shot. I think he's going to get some open threes against this pressing, double-teaming, constant defense for West Virginia. Now, Oklahoma plays man-to-man, half-court, in-your-face basketball. You're going to see them denying these passes. They're on the line, up the line. There's the first turnover, first forced turnover for Oklahoma State.
Well, the 5-second call will give it to the Cowboys.
If you took a line between the ball and the next pass, Mark, that's the line. Coach Underwood wants them up the line and on the line. So it makes it very hard to make that pass.
Here's Carter chasing Evans in the backcourt. Hammonds nearly walked now into the front court with Gasson. Forte was wide open. We're going to have a hold on Daxter Miles of West Virginia. There is Bob Huggins in his 10th season now, his hometown of Morgantown. 802 total wins, 212 of those coming with the Mountaineers.
Just a joy to be around. The time we spent with him this morning and shoot around, he's such a pleasant man.
And speaking of the shoot-arounds, it was interesting to see how each team approached it. It was almost like a full practice instead of a light shoot-around this morning for the two teams.
It did not look like a shoot-around. It was full sweat.
Forte in the corner. Evans in a crowd, gives it up. Gasson for the jam.
Well, that's what Evans can do. And against this pressure, he may not score 30, Mark, but he can dish and handle with the best of them in the country.
Now the 7-foot freshman from the Netherlands, Gasson, with the game's first bucket. Adrian a miss, and then a foul underneath that appears that'll go against Gasson.
When Evans has the ball, he can handle it, and you always have to be afraid that he's going to knock it down. And here's the young freshman, Gasson. He has really come on strong. Started a couple of games ago. He's in the right place at the right time with a strong finish.
Senior Nathan Adrian. 75% foul shooter this year.
Interesting, Coach Underwood a pressing team. First possession, first made basket, comes out and throws a full court press against West Virginia.
Well, we will talk more about the relationship between Brad Underwood, who's in his first season as the head coach here in Stillwater, and his relationship with Bob Huggins, which extends more than a couple of decades.
Boy, that coaching staff at K-State, when Huggins was the head coach, that was a powerful coaching staff.
Gasson into the front court for Evans. Started to drive, ran into Carter, and Carter will get called for the blocking foul. No shot, foul on the floor.
You know, this West Virginia defense is all over the place. It's going to be Nathan, Adrian on the ball and press full court, half court, after a miss, after a make. The problem is Evans can handle the ball so well, he can dribble through double teams.
Just like there, and he gives it to Hammonds, who shoots a three. And Ahmad skies for the rebound.
West Virginia definitely has the advantage on the glass, Mark. They have to attack that offensively and defensively.
There's Miles, scoops and scores. Dexter Miles with the first field goal of the game for West Virginia. Now Miles chasing Evans up to Forte. The drive, the block by Ahmad.
Oh, this is not a game to go in soft, Mark Neely.
That wasn't LeBron from Game 7, but it was an impressive block from Ahmad. Now Miles bumped into Gasson, who's going to get called for the foul, and that's already number 2 on Lucas Gasson. That'll get Mitchell Solomon off the bench for the Cowboys.
Well, Solomon started the first 5 games of the year, Mark, and he's solid. He's actually more comfortable coming off the bench. Feels like if he gets a chance to take a look at the opposition, he can understand his role. But Gasson has really played well. He's very long, so Coach Underwood's going to miss him.
Well, Sagaba Konate just came into the game for West Virginia, and he immediately makes an impact with his stuff.
Just a miscommunication on the out-of-bounds play. Should not happen.
And now Hammonds driving and scoring.
You wonder why they both can score 90 points a game. Strap it in, guys. This is going to be fun.
I don't know if they're each going to score 90 in conference play, but they're off to that kind of start today. Adrian tried to kiss it in. Konate, the offensive rebound over Solomon, and puts it back and in.
Especially with Konate in there, that is the advantage West Virginia has up front. They're strong and physical. Oklahoma State has to get a body and check them out.
Evans races ahead, and his foul going to the rim. Bob Huggins cannot believe that there was a foul called. That's on Ahmad, his first.
For as fast as Oklahoma State plays their own game, West Virginia is a multiple of that speed. So when you play against West Virginia, you get forced to play at a pace you're not used to. So even the great point guard, Juwan Evans, has to understand how fast this game is going to be.
See the numbers for Evans, who last year missed the last 9 games of the season due to a shoulder injury. Pokes are going to make a couple of substitutions. Jeffrey Carroll, who's had a really nice start to the season, comes in for the Pokes. And Thomas Dzagwa comes in as well. Dzagwa's an interesting player to watch. Forte to the bench. Evans' second free throw around and out, but an offensive rebound for Leighton Hammonds.
Well, West Virginia plays 10, 11 guys, Mark, every game. Oklahoma State's going to do the same today.
Evans tried to put it high off the glass and wound up putting it off over the top of the backboard. He was trying to split not 1, not 2, but 3 defenders that time to the rim.
And Juwan's going to have to learn quickly this afternoon the next pass. He's going to draw 3 defenders. Coach Huggins has got 802 wins for a reason. He knows he's the best player on the court. When he penetrates, he's going to dish, find the open jump shot.
Drive up and in for Tariq Phillip.
Hugs really likes the way Phillips played the last couple of games, especially in that Virginia game. Not phased at all in the big pressure situations.
So a 5-point lead for West Virginia as they've hit 4 of their first 5 shots from the field. Evans off to Curl, skips it. Out it comes to Carroll, still 9 to shoot. Carroll to drive, the contact. That's an offensive foul called on Jeffrey Carroll.
mentioned about Dirk Phillip from Brooklyn, New York, the senior. He's just come on early in the season here. He's just a strong New York City ball player, taking it in traffic in the finish.
Here is Phillip to bring it up for the Mountaineers.
So this full court pressure, Mark, is really just token. Once they get into the half court, that's when they really step it up and get up on the line and deny the next pass.
Tavon Myers bounce pass looking for Ahmad out of reach, out of bounds, and a West Virginia turnover. Early in Stillwater, and it's a 5-point lead for the Mountaineers. Well, head coach Brad Underwood and Bob Huggins just prior to tip-off with a hug for two very good longtime friends. A friendship that dates back about 20 years. In many ways, Huggins, Underwood's mentor, and these teams met, at least Brad Underwood's Stephen F. Austin team did last year in the NCAA tournament. And Stephen F. Austin pulled off one of the bigger upsets, knocking off a 3-seed West Virginia. Thomas Walkup led the way for the Lumberjacks with 33 points. He had his postseason beard going, 70-56. The 14-seed Stephen F. Austin ended West Virginia's season a year ago. That was in the NCAA first round in Brooklyn.
How could you not just fall in love with Thomas Walkup last year? I mean, that kid, 6'4", maybe 6'5", tough, strong player. He leads in the D-League playing for the Windy City Bulls, Chicago Bulls D-League team. And Coach Hugs told us he's doing really well, and the NBA scouts are thinking he might get pulled up. I'd take a chance on him.
Oklahoma State, 2 of 6 from the field to begin the game. Meanwhile, 4 of 5 from the field of the Mountaineers, and a loose ball, bodies diving everywhere. That's going to go to Oklahoma State. And just another example of the hustle between these teams.
If you want to take a look at intensity, just play that 2-second clip, Mark. I mean, that's what this is all about. Play every play as if it's the last play of the game. And that's the culture that Brad Underwood is bringing to Oklahoma State as well. You learned it from Coach Hugs. That's what West Virginia culture is all about now. But you're going to see it in Stillwater soon enough.
Brandon Averett is a point guard that Brad Underwood brought with him technically from Nacogdoches. He had signed with Stephen F. Austin, goes to Stillwater. His drive off the rim, but the putback for Leighton Hammonds.
Well, if everyone's going to go try block the shots like the first 2 successful blocks from West Virginia, that's going to lead the offensive rebound. Great job by Hammonds taking advantage of that.
Tavon Myers nearly lost his dribble. Miles passed up the shot. Phillip with the left hand, too strong. Loose ball picked up by Carroll of Oklahoma State. Then that's momentarily tipped by Phillip, but it stays with the Cowboys.
You just cannot take a breath. The press after a miss.
3, just a little bit long for the freshman Thomas DeZagra. Adrian, an outlet. Miles, and 1.
Well, you think about that. 13,000 people raising up on DeZagra's 3. And then 2 seconds later, it's an and 1 down here at the other side. I mean, first, you get a great job, another miss. Great job, Carroll, in there trying to get the offensive rebound. Nathan, Adrian is everywhere. Block shot, outlet, finish down the other end, and 1. I mean, you just cannot blink against West Virginia.
Miles, just a 56% foul shooter, though, on the year, trying to complete the 3-point play. Rebound for Devon Dillard, who is checked in for the Pokes. Evans also back in.
You can see Evans looking behind him. Against this pressure, the safest pass is passing it back, but that's all West Virginia wants you to do.
Tavon Myers picking up the personal. That's his first. Team foul number 4 against the Mountaineers. You know, the interesting part for West Virginia, you look at the stats, West Virginia has not had a player foul out of a game this year.
Well, part of that is they play 10, 11 guys.
Yes. Foul on the floor.
That's the type of dishing that I think Evans will have available to him all afternoon, because West Virginia is going to collapse on his drive. And as he learns that, the angles in the passing lanes will create themselves for either a layup or a three.
Well, Issa Ahmad picks up his second foul here at the 14-10 mark, so he comes out. Adrian checks back in. Low pass off Averette. Outlet, Carter, Miles, the left hand lay-in, good. Just like that, 7-point lead for the Mountaineers.
It took a second for Evans to realize he made a turnover. It took a second for Averette to realize he had a turnover, and 2 seconds later, it's a layup for West Virginia. The speed is, you just can't believe how fast this is.
Well, no question, one of the questions we had coming in is how Oklahoma State would handle the West Virginia pressure. A three missed from the right corner, and again, here come the Mountaineers. Bullet pass, Konate taken away. But a pass behind Carroll, turned over by Dillard. Third Oklahoma State turnover. We're coming up tonight. It's the Capital One Orange Bowl as part of Capital One Bowl Mania. Jim Harbaugh and number 6 Michigan taking on number 11 Florida State at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. That's 8 Eastern on ESPN, and also streaming live on the ESPN app. And watch ESPN. Well, Mark, how is Oklahoma State handling this pressure from West Virginia to start the game?
As you would expect. You cannot prepare for this. Yesterday in practice, Coach Underwood played 7-on-5 and told his young team, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to throw the ball away. And usually playing for Brad, that means you're on the bench. But in this type of game, the best players are going to make mistakes.
Driving lay-in for Daxter Miles. So 14 of the 16 points for the Mountaineers have come in the paint.
The back door is open against Oklahoma State, but there was terrible ball pressure. If you have good ball pressure, you can't make that backdoor pass.
Carroll for Evans. Adrian crashes into him. Picks up the foul.
You know, when you play against Oklahoma State, you know they're going to deny that pass. So that backdoor pass is available. But look how horrible that ball pressure is on top. Forte has to be right on top of that ball, because then you can't see that backdoor pass.
Deflected by Konate, but it still almost went in. And then he and Solomon fighting for it, and it's tied up.
There's your leader. Nathan Adrian just went in there, grabbed him, threw him out of there before anything could happen.
Did not want to see it escalate.
Good to have a policeman on the floor.
Possession arrow will give it to West Virginia. Nathan Adrian, a guy who's a senior, already has his degree in finance, working on his master's.
And I was talking to the West Virginia folks. He is the first basketball Division I scholarship for Morgantown High School since the Jerry West era. Wow. And he's a real good one.
Skip to Carter. He launches a three. That's a little bit long, and they get Evans for the foul, and 3 free throws upcoming for Javon Carter.
Maybe a little bit of Reggie Miller. Throw the leg out, fall down. He knew it was going to be an air ball, Mark. You know, if you're shooting, you know it's going to be off. Either go get it or try to draw the foul.
First foul on Juan Evans. Carter is 77% foul shooter. Take a look.
May have got him on the elbow. I'm sure that's what Carter's telling Hugs right now.
Swished on number 2, and checking in is Lamont West, a redshirt freshman, replacing Adrian on the floor. Well, not the start the Pokes were hoping for. They're down 18-7 with under 12.5 minutes to play in this first half. In front of this sellout crowd at Gallagher-Iba Arena. First sellout here since Bedlam in 2015, almost 2 years ago. 9-0 run here for West Virginia. Pokes trying to snap that. That's a 2 from Forte. And he does indeed end that 9-0 run.
Well, that time they did an excellent job of attacking West Virginia. Evans broke the initial press, passed over the top, and without hesitation, Forte let it fly. It's tough to do, Mark, when you missed your first couple of shots. You get hesitant as a shooter, but against this pressure, you have to attack.
That's a 2-point shot from Carter. West Virginia off to a hot shooting start today, 8 of 10 from the field.
Normally a 48% team from the field. Very hot.
Evans, the drive, and he gets it to roll in.
So tough to handle. Oklahoma State just has to contain themselves right now. They've gotten a sense of what West Virginia is all about. They know what the speed and the tempo is going to be about. Now they just have to get some composure and play their game.
Watkins, 15-footer long, and it's going out of bounds, but staying with West Virginia. Well, coming up, anytime you can tie legendary Kentucky head coach Adolph Rupp in anything, it's got to be a good thing, right? Well, I'll come back to find out how a win today for Brad Underwood would tie him with the Baron of the Bluegrass. Well, if Oklahoma State head coach Brad Underwood were to get the Pokes a win today, it would be his 100th career win. It would make him 116 in his career, and the fastest head coaches to 100 wins. Doc Meanwell was at Missouri and Wisconsin. Buck Freeman at St. John's went 110 for winning his 100th game, and Adolph Rupp went 116 and winning his 100th game in 1936. So with a win today, Brad Underwood would tie iconic Adolph Rupp, matching that 116 start to their head coaching careers. Remarkable. I mean, Stephen F. Austin, his record was spectacular. He lost one conference game in the last 3 years in the Southland Conference at Stephen F. Austin. Trying to join that list. What's
the big deal? It happens every century, Mark. It's remarkable. Absolutely remarkable what Brad Underwood has done.
They're trying to pass Tarkanian Boeheim for best start. Oklahoma State 10-2 coming in. Their only losses to North Carolina in Maui, and then a game in Maryland in early December that they thought they had won but lost by a point. Andy Waters has picked up his first foul. West Virginia comes in ranked 11th in the nation. Their only loss came to Temple in Brooklyn by 4 points back in late November.
And that game was opposite of this game. Temple came out scoring everything in the first half and just hung on to beat West Virginia in Brooklyn.
Two-pointer for Daxter Miles, and right now West Virginia 9 of 12 from the field to begin the game, and Miles already a perfect 5 of 5 with 10 points.
Little different strategy right now. Huggins has told Carter, do not let Evans get the ball. So now that's a little different than West Virginia. That's just a deny, all-out deny, because Evans can't break this press by himself.
Miles brings it up. He had a season-high 20 points against VMI when he hit three-pointers. Off to a good start today, but a turnover. Forte the other way, and it's knocked out of bounds off Phillip, claiming it was touched last by Oklahoma State. But it'll be Cowboy ball. Carroll and McGriff checking in. Freshman Cameron McGriff.
Well, nobody works the referees better than Bob Huggins, and this style that he has created in the last 3 years of West Virginia puts a lot of pressure on the referees, Mark. I mean, you can't call a foul every time down the court when there's 100 possessions. So, you know, the West Virginia kids are learning how to get away with some physical play.
Huggins won his 800th career game against UMKC recently. He's at 802 career wins into today. Evans. And the stuff by McGriff attempt got stuck in the crease, which would bring the possession arrow into play had there not been a foul call.
I was out there and shoot around showing McGriff how to make that shot. That was, you know, that was the Plansky execution of the dunk shot. Not proper execution, the Plansky execution of the dunk shot. But again, a great job by Evans. Just an uncanny ability to break down the defense off the bounce.
McGriff misses the first. You may notice the leg wrap on the left leg of McGriff. Banged up a knee prior to the Wichita State game. Played in that game at Wichita, which they won impressively 93-76, but he did not play in their last game on the 22nd of December, which was against Texas A&M Corpus Christi.
And he's a true thoroughbred, so you can see, everybody can see he's not at 100% right now, but he has to play because of the pace of this game.
Mountaineers will try to continue their hot shooting to begin this game.
Don't look now, Mark. They're playing zone. They're playing
defense.
zone, folks.
Couldn't believe my eyes. Phillip.
Old 3-2 zone.
That's a three. That's hit by Lamont West.
I think Coach Underwood's over there saying this has to stop sometime. They can't knock down everything against us.
10 of 14 from the field to begin the game, and they hit their first three-point attempt as well. Going up, twisting, turning, he got it to go in the foul. You were talking about the thoroughbred Cameron McGriff. He is athletic even with a banged up leg.
Well, he has what you cannot teach, and that is body strength and control. You know, even though he's not at full strength with his knee, he can just shed off defenders, hang, create the contact, and finish.
Brandon Watkins, the foul, his first. Konate checks back in for West Virginia, and Watkins will take a seat. McGriff out of Grand Prairie, Texas, went to South Grand Prairie High School. And he completes the three-point play. He pulls Oklahoma State within 11. We're just over midway through this first half in front of a sellout crowd in Stillwater.
We look for the Cowboys. They extend that zone pressure now backing down into a 3-2.
Deep three missed by Phillip. Loose ball. Forte diving for it, but cannot corral it, and it goes out of bounds to West Virginia.
Well, if that three went by Phillip, I think somebody's going to have to get a defibrillator for over there for Coach Underwood. He getting a little steamed with all these knockdown threes.
As you mentioned, it's a West Virginia team that in non-conference play shot 49% from the field. Right now, they're shooting 67%. That was deflected by Hammonds, but it still finds Konate.
Well, the zone is going to make them shoot threes. They're confident shooting their threes, and so we're playing the numbers game. Coach Underwood is going to say you're not going to knock them all down.
This is Adrian shooting the three. It's short. He gets his own rebound, tried to feed Konate, but it's stolen, and here comes Forte. Forte, scoop, and score.
What an excellent hesitation move. Everybody knows that Forte wants to shoot the three. I almost jumped out to cover him on the three. Slight hesitation, and then took it strong to the rim.
Somehow saved by West. Carter a three. Oh, what a backbreaker. This crowd was on their feet, anticipated a West Virginia turnover, but somehow Lamont West saved it, and they pulled 3 points out of the half.
I think McGriff thought the ball was out of bounds, so he stopped playing. That's going to be a tough one to watch tomorrow in the film room.
Here's a three, answering Leighton Hammonds.
Well, that's a plus. Hammonds can knock down the three mark, and he is another great athlete. When he sees the first one go down, he's a whole different player. He is one of the best athletes on the court this afternoon.
Carter a three. Fighting underneath. Hammonds, Konate, it's tied up. Possession arrow this time will give it to the Cowboys. We knew it was going to be physical.
It's raining threes, though. Carter with the long bomb after the great save. And then, as you said, the crowd wanted to get involved, so Hammonds gets them involved.
It's the games we've been waiting for all season. The college football playoff semifinals on ESPN tomorrow. The first one is the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl in Atlanta at 3 Eastern. Number 4 Washington battling number 1 Alabama. Then at 7 out to the Arizona Desert for the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl. Number 3 Ohio State, number 2 Clemson. Both games stream live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN, and all part of Capital One Bowl Mania. The crowd here still buzzing from last night's Oklahoma State 38-8 win over Colorado in the Valero Alamo Bowl in San Antonio.
Boy, it was quiet in Stillwater last night, wasn't it, Mark? It wasn't
until the game ended,
anyone
and then they got a little louder, yeah.
After the game, but during the game, everybody was watching it at home.
Well, it's been a great shooting start for West Virginia, and they get a steal here. Carter, Hammonds gets it back. It was a poor shooting start for the Cowboys. Where's Hammonds going to go? He says, I need a timeout. And he gets it. So we'll step aside as well. 7:35 to play first half in a 9-point game. We're back here in Stillwater. It was a 14-point lead at one point for West Virginia. That lead now is 9 with 7:35 to play in the first half. Oklahoma State just had to use a timeout. Nice defensive play by Hammonds on the block. Oklahoma State started out just 3 of 12 from the field. They've hit 5 of their last 6 now, so they're starting to heat up.
Well, step one is get the ball in against press Virginia. Step two is don't make a first quick pass, and that's what happened the last possession. Oklahoma State was lucky. Hammonds made a great vertical straight jump, not drawing the foul, got the rebound, and they were able to get a timeout and secure the possession.
Hammonds a long 3.
I told you, he's like the tallest 2 guard in the Big 12 after he knocks down his first one. I love it.
He hits his second 3 and has 10 points here in the first half, averaging 7 points a game coming in. A wide open Phillip, a 3. Just short. Rebound, out comes Averett. West Virginia's starting to cool off. Averett blocked well by Daxter Miles, and now here comes the Mountaineers.
Boy, did they contest everything at the rim. I mean, this is not the faint of heart time this afternoon. You'd have a hard time getting to the rim today, Mark.
Oh, and if you do, you're paying a big price physically. That is Sagaba Konate from the African country of Mali. 6'8", 250-pounder with the stuff. He has 6 points.
He's as big as the African country. That guy is enormous.
He stepped on the sideline, McGriff did, and that's the 5th Pokes turnover.
Step one, get the ball inbound. Step 1A, not in the corner next to the sideline, Mark. Try to keep the ball in the middle of the court. Secure it, make a safe next pass, and then attack. A lot easier said over here than done right there.
So 5 Oklahoma State turnovers, 4 for the Mountaineers. Carter dumping it off. Down low again. Watkins tied up. And the possession arrow will keep it with West Virginia with under 6 minutes to go.
It's interesting. Oklahoma State went back to the man-to-man after some success with that 3-2 zone. And I think with the timeouts, the forced timeout that Hammonds had to take on the baselines rested Coach Underwood's team, and he's back to his traditional man-to-man.
But it was interesting to see him break it out. That zone defense.
We will definitely mention it to him after the game.
Daxter Miles. Let's see if they give it to Hammonds or Carroll. They give it to Hammonds. His first.
Well, there's taking it strong, Mark, and then there's taking it strong. Along the baseline and going to the rim. That's the way to take it strong, folks. If you get the baseline, it's green light, because the only one that can help you is the guy coming from the weak side. And in the rules of the game today, if you're inside that restricted zone, just go at him. 9 out of 10 times you're going to end up at the foul line.
Well, Miles crashed hard to the court, may have banged up that elbow. He was shaking it a bit. Drains the first free throw. You know, we were talking during the shoot-around. West Virginia, in past years, this year, obviously, like many teams, can go through some scoring droughts, and you and I looked at each other and said, the guy that can get him out a lot of those droughts offensively is Daxter Miles.
You know, and Daxter is a tough kid as well. There's a couple of kids from Brooklyn, New York here that, you know, take the public, I'm a tough New York City kid. From Baltimore, Maryland, Dunbar High School, Notre Dame Prep, there are none tougher than this guy.
1 of 2, rebound. Carroll had it. Carter nearly took it away, but he bounced it off of Carroll and out of bounds. And there's another hustle play from Carter, and West Virginia keeps possession.
The only way you lead the Big 12 in steals is pride. He loves taking the ball. He came in from behind the arc on that rebound, waited for the Oklahoma State Cowboy to put it down, and then said, give me that.
So that's now a conference leading 41 overall steals on the season for Carter. into Adrian. Miles, too strong, but on the other side, Ahmad, actually Watkins, not on the bench with 2 fouls. 3 Hammonds, and the heat check this time got cold, but the offensive rebound and put back by Carroll.
We were talking earlier, Carroll is the one guy on this team that is the full package, and he can do whatever it needs to be done.
Miles just a bit long with the 3, and it's out off West Virginia that time.
Interesting. Coach Underwood has gone with both point guards. He's got Averett and Evans in the game. Not a bad idea against West Virginia to have both of your point guards attacking this press.
Tavon Myers in for Miles for West Virginia. West Virginia led by as many as 14. Up by 7. Pokes ball.
Well, Coach Underwood knew that they're not going to shoot at 70% for the game, so he just needed to keep containment.
Averett dribbled himself into a bad spot, and they say he went into the backcourt over and back. And the 7th first-half turnover for Oklahoma State.
And Brad Underwood is telling his young freshman, you've got to attack. What are you dribbling backwards for? That's what they want you to do. Yep, the heel hit the line. If you go backwards, West Virginia wins. You have to continue to attack.
Bucket there for Brandon Watkins.
It's a great dish by Phillips, just attacking that.
And away from the ball, offensive foul against Oklahoma State. That's Evans, his 2nd.
While Trayvon Myers defending Evans on the press, you never know what they're going to do. That's a little soccer-ish perhaps there, Mark. Referee probably caught it out of the corner of his eyes and didn't see whether it was full contact or half. Either way, it's an unfortunate foul for Evans.
So Evans to the bench with 2 fouls at the 4:50 mark. Carter.
How about that defense by Hammonds?
Finds Watkins, who traveled. The 5th Mountaineers turnover.
Leighton Hammonds, I saw him do this in practice yesterday. He was covering Jawan Evans in half-court sets, and Jawan couldn't get by him. I mean, that was just sensational perimeter defense against Carter.
This is the Big 12 Conference opener. 11th ranked West Virginia. A much improved Oklahoma State team. Into the front court, Averett once again, who went to the bench after that previous turnover and did not make the mistake of dribbling back towards midcourt there.
You know, folks, if you watch Adrian at the point of this zone press, he never gets back to the paint. He's always looking to double team somebody somewhere coming off of that full court pressure. It is very impressive, his IQ on how to play this defense.
And a 5-second call. Carroll could not get it in. And, you know, a number of the turnovers we've seen here, Mark, have been dead ball.
Yeah, simple turnovers. But you've got guys in positions that they're not used to playing at this speed against this pressure of making ball decisions. Usually it's Jawan Evans 90% of the time.
Carter sees a lane and drives to score.
Boy, Carter's playing like a little chip on his shoulder today, isn't he? Opening up the Big 12 Conference. Enough of this talk about this Evans kid. How about me?
Already 10 points for Carter, who came in averaging 10 a game, and a pass too high over Averett. And right now, Oklahoma State having all kinds of issues as they've now turned it over 9 times.
You knock down a couple of jump shots, they're going to expect you to shoot. I'm going to take it to the rim and finish.
Wow. A shot across the bow. Andy said, thanks very much. Any response?
He's right. This pace is ridiculous. Thanks, Coach.
They got more shots off in the first 2 minutes of this game than you guys did the entire second half in the championship game against Georgetown in '85.
I knew I never should have told you that stat.
Myers fake the kick, shoots off the back rim, swatted by Forte, but Adrian. Now Phillip back to Adrian.
I'm looking at the rebound stats. It's 13-13. It doesn't seem it, does it? Doesn't it seem like West Virginia's dominating?
It does indeed. Carter a miss. Hammonds a rebound. Now they're going to chase the freshman Averett, who's able to get rid of it. They have numbers. Waters to the corner. An open three. Forte could not get it to fall. Tipped by Hammonds, but up with it is Watkins. Myers. Quick pass. Carter an open three. Got it. What ball movement by West Virginia.
Just an excellent first half by Javon Carter, playing with supreme confidence and effort. Down the other end, Forte had a beautiful up fake, gave up the three, and then you cannot take a break. He was responsible for Carter. He was trying to stop the ball, and by the time he figured it out, Carter's spot up, knocked it nothing but net.
Well, Oklahoma State had whittled what was a 14-point deficit down to about 6, but a 7-0 run here for West Virginia has made it 39-25. And West Virginia, you talk about some hustle plays.
Absolutely. And it's not just the full court press Virginia. It's all about defense leads to offense. Good strip there. Eyes up. Finish. I mean, you just cannot relax. I mean, Seth was right. I mean, these possessions, they're going to end up having 100 possessions, and going backwards is the wrong way against press Virginia. You have to attack. But you can't practice against. You cannot simulate this environment in practice.
Forte dribbles out of the trap, jump stop. Solomon couldn't hit the 18-footer. It's volleyballed around, and guess who it finds? It finds Javon Carter. And Carter looking to get it back from Myers with 2.5 minutes to play.
Well, I guess his answer shoot-around was correct. Are you nervous? Nope. He has not played with any nerves this first half.
He is playing loose. Underneath, another jam with Penate.
Well, you've got a different combination of players in there for Coach Underwood for Oklahoma State. Miscommunication on that one was just glaring. Hammonds and Solomon have to communicate better than that off the dribble.
So now it's a 9-0 run for West Virginia, and Hammonds just trying to get it into the front court. Almost came back down with that, and Solomon a jam. Well, West Virginia almost got another turnover in the backcourt.
And Coach Huggins knows he missed it by that much, but credit Hammonds. I mean, for 2 days, Evans has been practicing breaking this press, and now because he's on the bench, Hammonds has to step up, and what a great job he did.
That was the first field goal for the Pokes in nearly 3.5 minutes, and now a foul. Looks like Solomon may get that.
Well, we talked about this earlier. This is not a game for the faint of heart. It's just a great job of driving and dishing, and now breaking the press. I mean, finally Hammonds gets 3 guys on him, and then 2 quick passes, and Solomon ends up with the proper execution of the dunk shot.
Well, Juwan Evans picked up his second foul with a little under 5 minutes to play, went to the bench, so he comes back out. So head coach Brad Underwood rolling the dice a bit, hoping Evans does not pick up number 3 here before the end of the half.
A little bit offense, defense, Mark. You know, you hope that you can get away with maybe scoring when there's a timeout or stoppage of play.
And the front end missed by Myers. Waters pass deflected by Phillip out of bounds.
You just cannot be lazy with the ball.
Well, after the Orange Bowl tonight on ESPN, catch SportsCenter at night with Bucci and Anderson. They'll have all the highlights from all 3 bowl games, as well as the NBA, NHL, college hoops, NFL news, and everything else. SportsCenter at night after Michigan, Florida State, and it also streams live on the ESPN app, and watch ESPN. Waters right along the sideline. The freshman dribbling into the lane. Got it back. Punched out by Adrian. And it's slowed down and into the hands of Miles.
Lindy Waters is a very good player. He's going to be a really good player for Coach Underwood here in Stillwater. But you just cannot predict how freshmen are going to react to this pressure. He's been off the first half.
And right now it's a little deer in the headlights.
Yes, absolutely. Understandably. I mean, it would be for the best of the players. First time you see it, you have no idea. Second time you see it, you've seen it, you have no idea. So as a freshman, first time you're seeing it, it's just a lot to ask.
Well, a minute 8 to play in this first half. West Virginia came out shooting the ball very well. It cooled off a bit, but still shooting over 50% for the half. And Oklahoma State came out cold, got a little hot, but now cooled off again. And right now, just trying to figure out a way to get some decent open looks.
Yeah, and Coach Huggins is obviously pleased with what he's seen in the first half. I think this might be his best offensive output from a shooting side, not from scoring, because against the December teams that you play in the early season schedule, you're going to put up a lot of points. But in Big 12, I think putting up 41 points with a minute left to go, and the way his team has knocked down open shots, he has to be happy in the first half.
The West Virginia team that finished second to Kansas in the regular season and in the conference tournament last year. Picked second behind KU this year preseason.
That's a good call.
Offensive foul against Tariq Phillip.
You can't extend that arm. You know, Lindy did a good job getting in front of him. He wasn't fully in front of him, but as soon as Phillip extended that arm, it's just an easy offensive call.
Brad Underwood subbing Evans in offense defense. Now they're back on offense. Evans checks back in. Hammonds will also come in for Gasson, who has a couple of fouls.
Who we haven't mentioned his name in the first half, and this is the type of game that his length and athleticism is a definite plus for Oklahoma State.
Yeah. Gasson had the first bucket of the game for Oklahoma State, but they got 2 quick fouls, and you're right. After that, most of the half on the bench. Under a minute to go.
It's just so hard to get the first pass in, and then as soon as you dribble, you're double teamed.
Waters fouled. Nice feed by Forte. And Lindy Waters going to the line, the freshman you spoke about a short time ago. He's actually from Norman, Oklahoma, Norman North High School.
Yeah, Coach Underwood really likes him. He earned his way into the starting lineup the day he stepped on campus here. He does a little bit of everything, Mark. You know, he can knock down the shot. He can handle the ball. He rebounds. He can dish. It's going to be a really good one.
A 70% free throw shooter, but off the back rim with the first. Averett in for Evans.
I remember my games back in the 80s and the Big East as a freshman. I had cotton mouth, Mark. I couldn't even breathe. Plansky, get in there and cover Mullen. What? I mean, I can only imagine that some of that is going through these guys' heads right now. Here's that 3-2 zone. Smart play by Coach Underwood, trying to limit any fouls here in the last minute.
10 to shoot. Carter swings it into the corner. Adrian catches, shoots. The offensive rebound. Minate, and they can hold it for the final shot.
You want to say you have to put a body on him, but in the 3-2 zone, there's only 2 defenders back line to box out, and that is a big body to have to box out.
Phillip, I don't know if he got it off in time. It went, but he did not get that off in time. And it takes us to the end of the first half. 41-28, West Virginia leading Oklahoma State in this Big 12 opener. We'll send it to the studio. The Land Rover halftime report with Andy Katz and Seth Greenberg. Fellas. First sellout in nearly 2 years from Gallagher-Iba Arena in Stillwater. Just about ready for the start of the second half. And it is a 13-point lead for 11th ranked West Virginia in this Big 12 opener. Along with Mark Plansky, I'm Mark Neely. We highlighted the point guard matchup in this game. Evans and Carter right at the top of the show. And what you have to know is that Evans came in leading the conference and scoring 20 points a game. First half, 3 points on 3 shots.
Yeah, I think we had it backwards. I mean, we were talking about how great Jawan Evans is leading the Big 12, but he's been frustrated. He's getting to the rim, but against the big front line of West Virginia, the contested layups have given him a trouble, and then the second foul drawn against the inbound pass on West Virginia sent them to the bench. Only played 14 minutes in the first half. Meanwhile, Javon Carter, a little bit of everything, taking it to the hole on the strong drive, knocking down a 3. He's 2 of 3 from behind the arc. And here's a guy that's averaging 10 points a game. He's got 13 in the first half.
Look at the Oklahoma State offense. Non-conference, yes, but they were averaging over 93 points a game. And bench points, their bench scoring outstanding, 5th in the nation. Today, a different story. But hey, we are into conference play now. It's a different animal.
And we mentioned a lot of youth on that bench, so it's unpredictable on what's going to happen. But Evans, only 3 field goals. He's averaging 15 field goal attempts a game. He's only taken 3. So you can see or watch for that mean reversion in the second half. And on the other side, as we mentioned, Carter's taking 7.5 shots a game. He's taken 7. He's got 13 points in the first half. And oh, by the way, Mark Neely, he has 3 steals as well.
Conference leader in that department. And Evans fouled by Adrian. And a quick foul. Mentioned Carter, 13 points in the first half. Dax Miles had 11. Really, Leighton Hammonds was the primary scorer in that first half for the Cowboys. He had 10.
The Oklahoma State needs Forte and Carroll to step it up in the second half.
Well, it was noticeable right there. Adrian's trying to get a quick third foul on Evans, and he came close to doing it. But here's Evans trying to claim it's going to be a different half.
And look at this. Coach Underwood's going to press the pressing West Virginia team.
Carter misses his first shot attempt. Both teammates going at it, Gasson and Hammonds, and then Carter jumped in and said, if neither one of you wants it, I'll try to take it. But now Carter's going to pick up a foul.
The entire Oklahoma State bench standing looking for that foul. Coach Huggins, of course, incredulous. How could that be a foul? The master on the sidelines. They're lucky they didn't get called for a travel. But then there's Carter, the consummate pest, and that's obviously a foul. A little silly foul as well, but trying to get a sport steal.
From the corner, Hammonds was their guy in the first half.
You know, when the 6th man here on the stadium has been quiet, they've been starving for a reason to get on their feet. They just got one.
Colts trailed by as many as 16 in the first half, got it down to 6. They're on an 8-0 run here.
Here's that on-the-ball pressure that Oklahoma State is known for. Up the line, on the line defense.
Shot clock at 4. Tied up in the corner. Possession arrow. And keep it with West Virginia. And just 4 on the shot clock.
Well, I can guarantee that it was loud in the Oklahoma State locker room, Mark Neely. And I can also guarantee that Hammonds was cool and collected. He's the veteran. He knows that he needs, or what he needs to do against this West Virginia team.
Into Miles. There was only 4 on the shot clock, but he got enough of a crease to get under the bucket and is fouled on the shot.
Second time he's done a great job getting to the rim.
Foul on Forte, his first of the day.
To the line, number 4, Dexter Miles.
It is amazing the contrasting seniors versus freshmen in college, especially in the top conferences. You know, when you play 4 years in the Big 12, your senior year, you're accustomed to chaos. When you're a freshman, you have to learn. You can't teach 2 things in basketball, Mark Neely. You can't teach height, you can't teach experience.
Next to Miles, now an experienced junior for Bob Huggins. Makes it a 10-point game. Waters gets a timeout. So we'll step aside. Just over a minute gone in the second half of the Big 12 opener. One of the best point guards in the nation, Juwan Evans of Oklahoma State, trying to find himself here in half number 2, and the Pokes need him.
Well, not the way he wanted to start the game. Obviously, he struggled in the first half, as we mentioned. But then once you get him the ball, boy, he can just get to the rim. He wants the ball right now. You can just see it in his eyes. He knows he's got 20 minutes to make up for his first 20 minutes. What a great job getting the ball to Hammonds in the corner, ready to shoot that 3.
Last year as a freshman, had a 42-point game against Oklahoma. Second most points scored in Big 12 history by a freshman. Came in leading the conference, averaging 20 points a game. Ball comes into Evans. Makes a long pass. Hammonds had 10 at the break, and a couple of buckets already here in the second half.
If I'm Coach Underwood, I get one of my assistant coaches to track how many times Evans touches the ball and plus minus how many times they score.
Carter gives him a little push. Who gets the foul? Give it to Carter, not Evans. That's key. And that foul on Carter is his 3rd.
Well, you can just tell Jawan Evans is into it now. Head up, attacks the pressure, and Hammonds with the finish. And then on this side, after that great pass the length of the court, he draws the foul. A little Rondo-esque maybe, you know, a little acting job, but got the job done.
8-point lead for West Virginia. Evans trying to clear a little room from Phillip. And now Adrian a bump. I think Jawan Evans in the back of his mind is thinking, this is just kind of making up for that foul I got with 5 minutes left in the first half.
That one is going to be one that Coach Huggins might remind the referee next trip down in front of him, perhaps.
Second foul on Adrian. Waters inbound to the backcourt to Evans. Evans slices and tried to throw it to Gassan underneath, but off target. Now, I don't think Gassan was where Evans thought he'd be.
You're absolutely right. He was not ready for the ball, and Jawan reminded him, be ready. Gassan has been on the bench. He's been watching this space, and when you get out there and start playing, it's mind-boggling.
The 7-foot freshman Gassan had the game's first bucket, but then picked up 2 quick fouls and sat most of that first half. In fact, only played 4 minutes. Watkins. Forte got a piece of it, but then picks up the foul.
And that's what happens when the play is right in front of Coach Huggins. Master on the sideline. Another 50-50 ball, just like the last one with Adrian and Evans. Forte committing the foul, going after the steal, but just a little confirmation by Coach Huggins standing 4 feet away.
I'll tell you what, the intensity of this game has not really dropped any point, has it? Thought he had the block. Gassan, that's going to be his third.
Well, that was intense. Picking up his third foul. That looked... Boy, in all the physicality of this game, Mark.
I don't envy the officials. It's fast, it's furious. It has to be hard as heck to call in real time. But that's not an explanation either team wants to hear. Watkins sinks the free throw. Now Carroll will come in. They'll get a little smaller with Carroll on the floor for Gassan, but Carroll's still the guy at 6'6". Carroll's a guy who really has seemed to blossom this year under head coach Brad Underwood, but like many others, with the exception of Hammonds, had a pretty quiet first half.
Yeah, I would be very surprised if he doesn't step it up in the second half. Just a very talented player.
Punched out. Miles keeps it.
They work on that. They shoot the free throws in practice, and on any miss, they work on tapping it out. Executed very well that time.
Phillip, back cut, and a jam by Nathan Adrian.
Coach Underwood could not be happy with that weak side defense. Somebody has to step in on that.
Trying to answer Carroll. He cannot with a 3 from the corner. Phillip leaning in on Evans. His pass stolen. Lindy Waters. Bounce pass Carroll. Ran into the defender. Got the shot and one.
You just get rewarded in college basketball, Mark, by taking it strong to the basket. The referees this year, point of emphasis, in the restricted area, have to determine whether or not the defender's in the air or not in the air. That was a good decision. He was not planted. He was outside the restricted, but he was not there with both feet planted. But taking it strong to the rim is rewarded this year in college basketball, and that's exactly what Carroll just did.
Well, that's the third on Ahmad, who only played 6 minutes in the first half due to 2 fouls. Didn't even have a shot attempt, and Ahmad came in, their leading scorer for West Virginia at 13 points a game.
Well, Carter was so busy knocking down everything, he didn't have to do anything the second half, but he is going to be missed. He's an integral part of their offense. And extension of the defense as well. I mean, they're playing at a deficit. Let's pick up an even quicker pace than we're playing. Kind of scary to say that, but that's the intent.
It's been 94 feet all game. If it were 194 feet, these teams would be playing the same way. That's short from Adrian. Miles got over the back of Evans. Adrian a miss down close. Another opportunity and a foul.
West Virginia is second in the country in offensive rebounding. They're first in the country in defense. Common denominator, effort. When you want to rebound the ball, you go and get it. And that's exactly what Nathan Adrian just did.
And both these teams among the tops in the nation in offensive rebounding coming into this game.
I mean, it kind of makes sense. You're on one side of the court 100% out all the time. Just incredible effort. You're not going to take it off on the offensive side. So, you know, they're just trained to go after the ball no matter where the ball is.
Konate, who had a couple of thunderous dunks in the first half for the Mountaineers, is in. And this time Forte picked up full court by Myers. Carroll driving baseline, jump stop, rolls off the right rim. And that's a Dax Miles board.
That was the proper shot. Good attacking by both Forte and Carroll. Just could not execute it.
10-point lead for the Mountaineers. 3.5 minutes gone in the second half of this Big 12 opener from a sold-out Gallagher-Iba Arena in Stillwater. Myers. Pass down low, but Solomon's going to get called for a foul, his third. He bumped into Konate.
Unfortunate foul for Solomon with 4 seconds left on the shot clock, but a great job by Myers recognizing he really had nothing. His eyes were on the shot clock, and Adrian recognized that as well and kept his hands open for the dump down pass.
Konate, a block by Carroll. That was almost another thunderous dunk off an inbounds to Konate. Dillard stripped and fouled by Miles. That was quite a recovery to prevent the dunk on the other end.
If I'm Solomon, I'm buying Carroll dinner tonight because I'm not sure what happened, but what a block by Jeffrey Carroll.
Third foul on Dexter Miles, putting Yvonne Dillard, sophomore out of Gary, Indiana, on the line. Guy who was a high recruit here, 4-star recruit. In and out, offensive rebound. Carroll, and Oklahoma State giving West Virginia a little dose of their own medicine there. Evans stumbling, keeps the dribble. See who they're going to call that on. They're going to call a blocking foul. It appears on Myers. A little extra jawing going on. But the teams separate. We come to a timeout.
Lots of action coming out of the break here in the second half. Hammond's throwing it down. On the other side, Nathan Adrian says, wait a second, we can dunk at Morgantown as well. And then Jeffrey Carroll says, whoa, wait, you're not open. Hey, Konate, give me that.
There's going to be a lot of ice packs tonight after this game between these two teams. It has been as physical as it gets to start Big 12 conference play.
Well, I can guarantee you that both squads are not strange to the locker room, training room, ice baths. Both of these guys go at it every day in practice, Mark. This is the fun part of it, but the physicality is outrageous.
Evans hits the front end of a 1-and-1 coming at the 15:55 mark.
Yeah, it's
of the second half.
I did the same thing. I just looked up. First time out for Coach Brad Underwood. You got a feeling this guy at the line is going to take the cover off and show us something in the second half.
West Virginia led by 13 at the break. But to start this second half, Mountaineers 1 of 5 from the field. Oklahoma State 4 of 6. They've cut it to an 8-point game. And Forte has returned. Forte today 0 for 2 in 3-point shooting, 2 of 5 overall from the field for 4 points.
You talk about Forte, Mark. He makes 600 threes a day.
All alone, Watkins lays it in. West Virginia got it across midcourt just in time and then found the open man.
Just a great job by West Virginia. Coming out of the break, getting ready for the full court press that they have seen the first 4 minutes, and good job by Coach Huggins.
Averett needs help. Solomon trying to give it to him. He was bumped by Phillip, and a 10-second call. They're not able to get it across. And that's 12 Cowboy turnovers.
Coach Underwood trying to get Evans some time off the court, not to pick up that third foul. And you can see they just need him against West Virginia.
The West Virginia team that in a game earlier this year against Manhattan turned the ball over 40 times. 40.
Once a minute, that's not good. You think that coach looked at all that night? I don't think so.
That was a school record for West Virginia, forcing 40 turnovers. And there's a block by Solomon, came down on Myers. No foul. It's just out of bounds, staying with West Virginia. Coach Huggins wanted the foul. And Big Solomon came down on his guard, Myers.
Mr. Referee is politely explaining the ball was out of bounds first. Play was dead. Well, that's the second time in this half that West Virginia has been able to execute right out of the out of bounds play underneath their own rim. That's going to drive Coach Underwood crazy.
That time for Miles, 15 points, came in averaging 9 a game. And that's getting the Pokes fans frustrated. You got to get it across, and they do just in time to Averett.
You got to love the fact that the fans know how to break the press from the seats. It's a lot easier from here, Mark.
Shot clock's now down to 8. And they really haven't gotten the offense going here. Averett around Watkins. Skip pass. Here's a 3. Hammonds has it blocked by Adrian. Got it back. Puts it up. Would have been in time, but it's short. And Solomon deflects it to Forte, who has to dribble out of a trap attempt. Gets to the baseline. Miles gets a hand. That's a steal. Miles has numbers. Gives it up. Phillip to Adrian. And Myers and one.
What great execution on the transition. First starting with a deflection off a defense that absolutely looked like it was going to be a wide open 3 for Hammonds. Just getting your hands in the lanes, always in the lanes, and then just keeping the ball moving. 3-on-2. The trailer usually finishes with a great dish. Just an excellent job by West Virginia. Defense creating offense.
Myers looking to complete the 3-point play. For his first bucket of the game, and does so.
Well, after 2, shall we say, concerning possessions, Evans right back in the game against his press.
Solomon, Forte into the front court. Forte a drive, and got it to go.
That's taking it strong. He had the pass to the corner for the 3, but he made the right decision. I'm glad he took it strong. Maybe that gives him the confidence the rest of the game.
Adrian was looking for a the back cut. Myers underneath, loose in the corner. And on the baseline, out of bounds. Oklahoma State.
Again, that backdoor cut is invited by the Oklahoma State defense. But if you're not pressuring the ball, then you will get beat by that cut. That time it was just a great job by the backside help defense preventing the layup.
Carroll looking to get it in. Evans being harassed by Myers and dangerously to Forte, but he's fortunate that Hammonds was there. Now they get it to Evans, across to Carroll. Carroll almost punched out by Adrian. Deflects it to Forte. Floated up by Evans. It's short, going after his own rebound, but Watkins has it instead. Adrian looking ahead, finds Phillip. Poke fans wanted to travel. Ahmad tries to reverse on Solomon, and a foul. It's going to be number 4 on Mitchell Solomon.
I'm still chuckling on how Evans tried to out-rebound Watkins down at this end. I don't even think Watkins felt it. He just brushed him off and started the fast break.
Well, here's Ahmad, who came in today as their leading scorer at 13 a game and has yet to score today. And this is the free throw.
Well, he's definitely their best player. He's their go-to player. He's the one guy on this team typically can get his shot, can create his own offense. But you never know. I mean, Oklahoma State playing the equal intense pressure. The ball's going to end up in different people's hands, and that's what's happened here this afternoon. And Carter and Miles have taken advantage of it.
You probably have to be encouraged if you're a Mountaineer fan, Mark, because Ahmad has been really a non-factor offensively, yet they played very well as a team offensively.
I think the Mountaineer fans are holding their collective breath because everything is going well this afternoon.
Carroll will shoot 2. You know, I don't think I've caught my breath yet from the opening tip-ins. And maybe a little bit at halftime, but
there's no time for
it's just been up and down.
There's no pontification allowed today. I can't even pronounce that, let alone think about it.
Big word for a Villanova guy.
Yeah, no. My producer's in my ear right now saying 2 syllables only, Mark. 2 syllables only.
In and out. Coach still trying to get Jeffrey Carroll going today because he's had a really good start to the season in non-conference play. A guy who's played about the same number of minutes, low 20s, but has doubled his output for rebounds and points from a year ago. Well, the free throw was good, but apparently we had a foul on Oklahoma State on Hammonds. So now West Virginia's in the bonus. We'll go to the other end for a 1-and-1 after Hammonds picked up his second foul.
Well, I didn't see that. I'm not sure Coach Underwood saw that. He's not fazed by it because any type of physical reaction he's okay with. He wants his team to battle with West Virginia.
So an important foul because it ends the trip to the line for Carroll. Puts Konate at the line, who hits the front end.
This is probably the longest these 10 guys have rested all afternoon. Back-to-back trips to the foul line. Patting the referee on the butt saying, thank you, sir. Thank you. Call another.
Both free throws for Konate. Get it to Forte. Myers almost got a hand on that pass. Myers falls down. Forte trying to take advantage. Will shoot the 15-footer. And it's punched to Omar. I mean, it's a war underneath the bucket.
The pace of play, Mark, just gets you playing at such a speed you're not used to. You make silly decisions. I mean, Forte didn't have to go one-on-one. He had many guys open, but you finally get a chance to open shot. You want to take it before it's not open.
The carry on Myers, the 10th West Virginia turnover. Thomas Zagwa checks in for Oklahoma State. He played just 2 minutes. The first half was 0 for 1 from the field, a 3-point attempt.
And he can really fill it up. The word unconscious says see the Zagwa.
Zagwa's pass went off a West Virginia foot. Looked like it was kicked, but no call, and it carried right to West Virginia underneath. Ahmad loses the handle, then flips it to the corner, and a 3-up is off the mark for Myers. Here comes Evans. He has Dizzy with him. He reverses too strong. Tip Evans, no, then foul on the floor underneath.
West Virginia, number 50.
I love that you called Zagwa dizzy because that's what his teammates call him. He is the passion in the locker room behind this team, but he's also a freshman. He's running the court, running the lanes faster than he has in practice, and he just wasn't ready to convert.
Well, I haven't seen much of Zagwa today, but he's an interesting guy. And I asked Coach Underwood, what's the word that comes to mind when you think of Zagwa? And he said swagger.
Without question. Tude is another one you might want to throw out there. And that's a great teaching moment right there by Coach Underwood. Knows that his young freshman is going to be a very good player for his program. And just saying, sit down, take a break. I'm going to put you back in.
Front end rolls off for Evans. Oklahoma State 8 of 15 from the line today. This is a team that has the nation's leading free throw shooter Forte, but has not attempted a free throw today. But Lamont West with a 3 from the corner.
2 for 2 from deep. Coach Huggins loves his young freshman, came in against Virginia and had a huge second half. Big reason why they knocked off the Hoos in Charlottesville.
18-point lead, biggest lead of the game for West Virginia. Carroll trying to cut into it and one.
So much effort physically to beat West Virginia. But that's the way you do it. Taking it to the hole.
Well, coming up, finishing near last in something normally is not a good thing, but come back and find out why that is a good thing for West Virginia. (61-45) West Virginia leading Oklahoma State. West Virginia, this is a team. Virginia, this is a team, Mark Plansky, that really thrives on their depth.
Well, when you play the style that Coach Huggins plays, press Virginia, you're going to play 10, 11. He's played 9 guys today. But none of these guys we're going to be watching in the NBA, Mark. You know, it's not about the superstar player that's going to give me the ball. It's all about the team. The sum total is greater than the parts at Morgantown, West Virginia.
So as a result of that depth, you don't have anybody that's a 20-point scorer like Evans for Oklahoma State coming in. These are among the ranked teams, top 25 in the nation coming into this weekend. Second fewest for Carter as far as minutes per game. You don't have anybody playing 30-plus minutes. You had Ahmad coming into today with 13 points per game average, third fewest among ranked teams. And then Adrian, as far as rebounds a game, fourth fewest. So that the personal numbers don't stack up, but the depth really shines.
And one thing we left out in the fewest is egos.
Yes.
There is not an ego from a player to a coach to the strength and conditioning coach to the academic advisor. This program is egoless. It's all about the team, a collective effort.
And as you mentioned, they've gone 9 deep today. They're without Elijah Macon. Otherwise, they'd be 10 deep today. Macon still nursing a right knee injury and not playing. So Carroll completes the three-point play. And we get another look at that zone.
You know, it's funny, folks have just, in the Big 12, have watched 2 years of the Press Virginia. But this third year, you've now got guys on this team, Mark, that are used to this chaos. So to them, it's organized chaos. It's normal.
Wow, what a shot from Daxter Miles with a hand in his face, falling out of bounds and swished it.
What a day, huh? This backcourt is putting on a show.
Came in averaging 9 a game, Miles. He's doubled that with 18. Back to an 18-point lead for the Mountaineers, their largest of the game.
This is the first offensive set Oklahoma State has run the entire game. 10.5 minutes left to go in the second half.
Evans going to the line. Miles just picked up his fourth.
And I don't say that because they're not running offensive sets properly. They just haven't had the opportunity to run an offensive set. I don't know why West Virginia didn't press on that free throw, but they didn't allow them to set up an offensive set.
So Miles is the first West Virginia player to 4 fouls. You already have Solomon with 4 fouls sitting for Oklahoma State. Miles will come out. But Miles, 18 points right now, which leads all scorers. Evans sinks both.
Well, I know it doesn't seem like it, Mark. There's a ton of time left. I mean, there is a ton of time left. One possession at a time. The way Oklahoma State can go on runs, they can get back into this game.
Looks like Phillip took a blow to the head from Carroll, Jeffrey Carroll's second foul.
Boy, Phillip has done a great job getting to the rim, north and south. Just taking the ball. Look at him inside the lane. Never went outside that lane. Eyes stayed on the rim.
Looked like Carroll kind of swatted him across the forehead.
And too many players make the great dribble move, Mark, and get by the defender and go off at a 45-degree angle, create the space for either or another defender to come in or a big guy to block the shot. You want to go by your defender and get right off his hip, almost as if you want to go behind him. And that allows you to create the offense, the pressure, and the release when it's time to convert.
Wow, West Virginia. I'm not sure what just happened there, but they didn't pressure full court, or at least three-quarter court. They dropped back into the half court.
I'm not sure what's going on. This almost looks like a zone, but I won't say it yet.
No. Jumper from the baseline, good. Leighton Hammonds has been the top scorer today for the Pokes. He's up to 17 on 7 of 11 shooting. Evans picked up his 7th assist there, feeding Hammonds. Midway through this second half, 16-point lead for West Virginia, leading Oklahoma State in the Big 12 conference opener. Phillip did not find rim, but Adrian was on the offside to keep it alive, and the three from the left quarter missed by Myers. Now they have Forte ahead of the field, but can't get it to him. At least Evans gave him a look, now floats it up and generates the contact, and the foul that time will go on Tariq Phillip.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here, Mark. 3 possessions in a row without press Virginia. I know that Coach Huggins and Coach Underwood are great friends, but
he wouldn't take a foot off the gas. There's no way.
I've never seen it. And I'm sure the mastermind has everything in set the way he wants it, but you can't give Oklahoma State a chance to make a run because they do have firepower.
10 points now for Evans. Again, he came into today leading the Big 12 in scoring at 20 a game and had just 3 in the first half today on only 3 shots, and did have some foul issues in the first half. One of 2. Watkins rebounds. And this free throw also does not allow Oklahoma State to sub in Mitchell Solomon. They stay a little smaller. Underneath Watkins, the jam.
That's just a great job by Myers. Talk about attacking, dishing. Watkins, right place, right time with the finish, but Myers doing all the work.
Forte today has attempted only 2 threes, missed both. He's 3 of 7 from the field for 6 points. Forte trying to get by Phillip, and help defense from Adrian. Now peeling into the corner, only 3 to shoot. Forte finds Evans in a 3. In and out. Tip Carroll off the rim. Ahmad a rebound.
Good look right at the end of the shot clock. Can't ask for anything better than a shot by Evans.
Ahmad fouled by Carroll.
With West Virginia attacking Oklahoma State, Myers doing just a great job. You attack in the angle. You go 45, nice little ball fake. Oh, that's just getting it done, Mark Neely.
Some impressive ball handling by Myers for that ball fake. Here's Ahmad, just 1 point today, came from the line obviously, but here sinks the first of 2. Konate will come back in. Solomon also checking in for Oklahoma State to size up with Konate. West Virginia came out today just shooting lights out from the field. Really haven't looked back. The only Oklahoma State lead came on the first bucket of the game, 2-0. And now they have their largest lead of the game of 19.
Yeah, the only chance of beating this West Virginia team is to get on top early. Temple did a great job of that in Brooklyn in the preseason tip-off classic. They just had a phenomenal first half. They had to hang on, you know, duct tape, dental floss, everything it took to get the victory. But playing from behind against this pressure is just very hard to do.
That came the only loss for West Virginia so far this year. That 4-point loss in Brooklyn you were alluding to, is Myers earns his 3rd foul, stopping it with 8:32 to go.
And they were down 20 points to Temple in the second half. And I think they crawled all the way back, tied it up. But Temple knocked down 6 consecutive free throws and ended up coming away with a 4-point victory.
Evans down 7 of 10 from the line. No question the best non-conference win for West Virginia this year was that win over Virginia, ranked 6th at the time, and really You go back in that game, West Virginia got off to a really poor offensive start, but still came back and won at 66-57.
Well, West Virginia's never going to be out of a ball game. Both. It's just a great point, Mark. Virginia and Temple, they were not playing their best. They didn't come out like they did this afternoon and knock down every shot. But with this pressure, they are always going to be ready to make a run.
Boy, we have seen Sagaba Konate today show his power with a number of flushes.
They call him Sags, but Sags has been outstanding this afternoon.
Forte, dangerous for Evans. Konate almost stole it. Solomon couldn't handle the pass back to Evans. A long three, good for Forte.
That's one that Coach Underwood said, this has to go. You make 600 a day. You cannot miss this one.
That leaves him 27 made threes, now shy of the Oklahoma State record for made threes, which is owned by Keaton Page. On the other side, a Carter three long, didn't draw iron and went off Konate and out of bounds to Oklahoma State. 7:32 to play, second half. Oklahoma State trying to stay in it in front of this sellout crowd at Gallagher-Iba Arena. But
you got freshmen throwing it down, and you've got the seniors saying, this is what I can do here at home.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball.
It's the Big 12 opener from a sold-out Gallagher-Iba Arena in Stillwater, and West Virginia has the 16-point lead. They've gotten production from everywhere today, Mark Plansky. 9 different scores. They've gone 9 deep, 3 of those in double figures.
Well, when you play 9 guys, if everybody can get involved, Coach Huggins is going to have a fun trip back to Morgantown.
Oklahoma State trying to get this big crowd back into it, but can't get the ball in bounds in time. 15 poke turnovers.
It's amazing when you prepare against West Virginia, you do so much about what you're supposed to do once the ball is inbounds, Mark, but you have to get the ball inbounds. That's what, 4th or 5th turnover, just trying to get the ball in play.
Yeah, a number of turnovers of the dead ball variety, but you get it back after the offensive foul. Adrian, his third.
Number 11, Nathan Adrian is third. Juwan Evans back in for Oklahoma State.
Carroll taking the spot. And Dillard. Evans has had a better second half, but he's had a big hill to climb here with his team in half number 2.
Part of what makes this pressure so difficult to read is they change it. He took it off 3 or 4 times. There they trapped after half court to create the turnover.
Adrian will finish it.
Adrian can turn around and play the ball. I think he almost has free reign. His IQ defensively especially is so high. Coach Huggs trusts him to make the call when he's out there to kind of be the leader of this pressure.
Well, Mark, this is an Oklahoma State team that Solomon has found certainly seems to be on the upswing. But they have faced a West Virginia team today really clicking on all cylinders.
Easiest way to score easy buckets, play hard defense, and that is the motto for West Virginia. Here's just another example. Nathan Adrian always in the right place. Evans usually always doing the right thing, but that time the trap came unsuspectedly, and Nathan just trailing the play for the easy putback.
Big 12 opener. Just over an hour from now here on ESPN2. Baylor, 4th ranked in the nation at Oklahoma. Doug Sherman and Fran Fraschilla standing by for that call. Getting conference play started today in the Big 12. The conference that last few years RPI-wise has been really about as good as it gets in the nation.
Oh, without question. We were talking to Coach Huggs at shoot-around today. Here's a guy that, to win 200 times in 2 different big-time Division I programs, Cincinnati and West Virginia, is outrageous. Big East, Big 12. He's played in all the conferences, and he told us without question the Big 12 is the toughest because every venue and every coach and every player plays as hard every night as they do the first night and last night.
Travel committed by Myers. And with 6:48 to go, Oklahoma State trying to find a little bit of daylight here and cut into this deficit. The 12th West Virginia turnover.
Phillip checking in for the Mountaineers.
Forte a three. Well, he hit 5 threes in their last game against Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Now he's hit 2 here in the second half.
The shooters have the most confidence when they're up by a lot or down by a lot. That was shot with confidence, and not an easy shot, by the way, Mark.
19-point lead at one point, down to 13.
Coach Underwood with that 3-2 zone, now switching it up, trying to build on that momentum.
Deep three, Phillip, back rim miss, high rebound. Adrian crashed hard to the ground, but he is the one who's picking up the foul. Well, that's going to go against Evans. Well, there's his third. Officials said he undercut Adrian.
You know, Nathan Adrian is the second leading rebounder in the Big 12. He's always going after the basketball. Well, I don't know.
No,
I mean,
no, that one they've got a right to complain about.
Yeah. I mean, but you have to credit Adrian. I mean, without the effort of going for the ball, there's not a foul or an attempt to make a foul.
That was just Evans playing basketball, trying to box out a taller player. The deficit is 14, and the turnover total increases. Ahmad with a violent flush at the other end.
Defense rewarded by offense. Great activity with Ahmad. Hands in the passing lane on that double team on Evans, and then just 1 second later finishing it with a dunk.
Ahmad's first field goal of the game, and it's certainly a memorable one for him. Waters in a tough spot. Is fortunate he didn't turn it over. Carroll had his shot blocked by Ahmad, but right to him. It's a missed shot and a foul underneath.
It's been the theme of the afternoon, Mark Neely. Defense leads to offense. Usually, back when I played, offense meant someone else played defense and I shot the ball. But how about this by Ahmad? Gets his hands in it and then just streaks down and finishes with the strong dunk.
Fourth foul was assessed to Javon Carter. Brad Underwood really giving lead official Joe DeRosa an earful.
He's got a point. I'm not sure if it was the worst call in the history of college basketball, but he's making his point, building for the next call. That's what the great ones do on the sidelines.
You were just quoting Brad Underwood. That's what he was saying.
You know, it's interesting, Mark. We talked before the game. We thought the weakness for West Virginia offensively was from the foul line, and it's been Oklahoma State that's had a tough time at the charity stripe this afternoon.
16 of 26 from the line for the Pokes. Able to maintain possession here, though. And Carroll can't handle the pass. So an unforced error that time.
You know, playing during the break when the students are home, there's advantages and disadvantages. The advantages, West Virginia plays on the road, and it's not as crazy, although it's crazy here this afternoon. It's not as crazy as if all 20,000 students were here in this arena. The disadvantage, Oklahoma State has to go and watch this film probably the next hour. That's not going to be fun.
Just over 5 minutes to go. 16-point lead in the ball for West Virginia. Jumper West, Lamont West hasn't taken a lot of shots. In fact, just 3, but he's hit all 3.
And he hasn't hit the rim. I mean, Hugs was telling us at shoot around he really likes the way Lamont is coming on game by game. He's got the athletic build. You can look at him right here covering Forte. 6'7", long, strong, going to be a defensive stopper. But how about nothing but net, 3 for 3 behind the arc.
Forte trying to answer, around and out. An Adrian rebound for West Virginia.
And what Press Virginia does, you mentioned it earlier, Mark, it wears you down physically, but more importantly, mentally. And you just look at the body language on Oklahoma State right now. Every time they miss a shot or make a turnover or don't get a rebound, heads are dropped because they're not used to being this fatigued.
Spinning and Miles scoring, and for Daxter Miles, he now has 20. It's an 8-0 run for the Mountaineers. Matches a season high for Miles. Foul along the sideline.
Dexter Miles, we mentioned it, Dunbar High School, Notre Dame prep from Baltimore, Maryland. He has had great control with the ball today. Has done a good job finding the gaps. Look at that spin move. And the finish.
West Virginia trying to start conference play with a win here on the road. They are at Texas Tech on January 3rd, which is a 9:15 Eastern time start on ESPN News. Solomon back with 4 fouls. Oklahoma State, they will take on Texas in Austin January 4th. That's on the Longhorn Network at 7 Central Time.
That's a long trek back to Morgantown from Lubbock. 9:15 start. What time do you think they get back on campus?
5 a.m.
2 hours of sleep before they go back to school?
Really not ideal for West Virginia. Normally they play the 2 road games in conference back-to-back, don't have to go home. This time they actually will go back to Morgantown and come back to this part of the country for the game against Texas Tech after the New Year. Ball deflected into the hands of Hammonds. Here comes Evans. The foul, second, will be against Watkins. 82-63 West Virginia. When we come back, an even closer look at the success of Press Virginia. Well, the West Virginia defense today has turned Oklahoma State over 18 times in a variety of ways.
Press Virginia, you're #1 in the country in multiple categories defensively for a reason. Many ways you can get a turnover. 10-second violation. Can't get the ball over half court, Mark Neely. Drives coaches crazy. How about you can't get the ball on the court, Mark Neely? Drives coaches crazy. 5-second violation. And then the ball's in your best ball handler and you trap a steal, and once again defense leads to easy offense.
When we're showing highlights of 5-second violations, we're really trying to make a point here. How well they played defense today. 24 points for West Virginia off 18 Oklahoma State turnovers.
I was just thinking, when was the last 10-second violation you saw in a Big 12 game?
There aren't many.
There are not many.
They usually involve West Virginia, though, in some capacity.
Yeah, I'm sure West Virginia fans are saying, last game, we saw it last game.
1 of 2 for Evans. West Virginia's led by as many as 21. Right now with the 18-point lead, they have the numbers. Miles, Watkins scores.
All afternoon, the West Virginia guards have made the right decision on the break. They've attacked this pressure, and the big guys have been there to finish strong.
Well, this matchup between 2 very good friends, Bob Huggins and Brad Underwood, who's making his Big 12 conference debut as far as conference games. A very difficult draw for Oklahoma State in conference game #1. That's a 3, in and out. Now Hammond's shaking up behind the play. He's holding his eye, his face, maybe. So they have a 5-on-4 here. Now Hammond's running back into the play, kind of holding his right eye. Underneath, Ahmad scores.
23, Issa Ahmad.
Hammonds will play on whatever's bothering him. I don't know if it's a contact lens, if he wears those, whatever the case is. That's up and good in an and 1 situation. Hammond's still messing with his eyes.
Watkins is 3rd.
Kind of surprised the referee didn't stop the play of action when the ball was out here.
After Oklahoma State got possession, especially.
There was a bucket scored on each end, so net, no harm done. But Sure looks like he caught a finger in the eye of some sort.
Hammonds does make his way to the bench. Solomon going for the offensive rebound. He's pushed by Adrian. It'll be his fourth. So he joins Miles and Carter with 4 fouls for the Mountaineers. 2:33 to go.
You know, on paper, it doesn't look like Nathan Adrian's had a great game. You know, 9 points, 4 fouls, but he is the heart and soul of this Press Virginia. I mean, his IQ, I mean, Coach Huggs puts him out there and has 100% trust in his decision-making capability on the defensive end, which is priceless for a coach to have.
Well, if the Mountaineers hang on, this will be career win number 803 for Bob Huggins.
One behind the great Rolly Massimino,
who you know and played for, of course, and won a national championship for in '85.
82 years young, still winning down at Kaiser University in West Palm Beach, Florida. NAIA great. Take a look at Coach Huggins. I asked him, this is the 3rd full year of Press Virginia. You know, when did he really turn it up? I mean, it's obviously unfathomable to cover and to play against. I said, what team, you know, can you tell me plays just like that? He said, only Kevin Mackey's Cleveland State team back in the 80s and 90s. And it was 3 years ago. Kevin Mackey was in Morgantown. I said, Coach, your guards can't score. You need to turn it up. You need to do what I did in Cleveland State. He was thinking about it. And then a couple of days later, he calls up the great Kevin Mackey and says, can I come over and you walk me through this? He gives him the credit. And this is the 3rd full year, and this is the result. This team has got this moving.
Well, his guards today, Carter now with 15 points. Miles has 20. Out of bounds off Adrian, staying with Oklahoma State with 1:50 left. And we've got a pretty good feeling here, Mark. This Oklahoma State team has certainly improved, but a tough draw playing West Virginia in conference game number 1. Oklahoma State was picked tied for 7th preseason in the Big 12, and the way they looked in non-conference, that may be a little conservative.
Well, for a team whose 40% of their minutes come from freshmen.
Wow. I mean, that 3 was
from Norman. You can say it. It was from Norman.
15 feet beyond the arc out front. 3rd 3 of the day for Forte.
But a combination of youth that Coach Underwood still trying to work in with his upperclassmen, with Forte and Hammonds, and then just a lot of these guys never seen Press Virginia. Tough draw.
West Virginia came in averaging 92 points per game in non-conference. I didn't think they had much of a chance to hit that today, but they very well may. Evans in traffic. Forte, is he feeling it? Well, he's going to pass it off for Solomon. Evans will take the 3. It's been that kind of day for Oklahoma State. They even had the rebound and then knocked it out of their own hands, and Ahmad the other way lays it in, and that's 90 for West Virginia.
That 94 feet clip has been that kind of day for Oklahoma State. They had the offensive rebound. They almost made the 3, and then a deflection leads to a layup on the other end.
Mitchell Solomon with the stuff. Evans, by the way, even though he's going to pick up 11 assists, which is a career high for Evans, 15 points. So he did come alive more in the second half, had 3 at the intermission. But too much Press Virginia today. Carter. Whoa. Dexter Miles with the exclamation point on this afternoon at Stillwater.
Keep this tape, Dexter.
3, good. Forte. Miles, by the way, just 1 off a career high, and that's going to take care of it. 92-75. 11th ranked West Virginia wins the Big 12 Conference opener. Stay tuned for the American Family Skills Challenge. That's coming up next. For Mark Klansky and our entire crew, I'm Mark Neely. Thanks for sharing this one with us. West Virginia wins it on the road, and so long from Stillwater.